Okay, here we are, live at last. I really have been enjoying doing live shows just for the interaction with folks live because that's fun. And also, it makes the whole uploading and editing process just non existent. So easy. And I've just been busy, and I'm sure that you all have too, with the season. So, anyway, I thought I would bring you a show about parting out. And we've talked about this a lot, but I'm becoming more and more passionate about it. I really enjoy doing it. And I called this show Parting Out is Such Sweet Sorrow because typically when I part out, there is a component, maybe more than one component that gets thrown away because you can't really redonate just like a part. Um, but it's either a part there is literally no money in, or it's broken, which is not that big a deal if you're going to throw that away, or it just doesn't make sense to try and sell it. So that being said, I have a couple of examples here beside me that I thought I would go over with you and um, encourage you to look at things from a perspective of selling them for parts, um, because it could make it could be a profitable decision. And if you're somebody that doesn't like to ship heavier, bulkier items, it may be worth it to you just to sell the parts. And I was talking with some of my pals earlier today about, um, yeah, something gets thrown away. Generally, not always, but generally something will get thrown away. But it may be keeping the item that a buyer has from getting thrown into a landfill. So, six of one, half dozen of the other, but at least you have made some money and given a potential buyer something that they need, which is like this crazy mustache. Anyway, so um, the first item that I have, I bought this at my little favorite thrift store, little Mennonite thrift store. And this is a vintage uh, Sears appliance. And I didn't think when I picked it up that it would have any resale value whatsoever because it is Sears branded. And it's called the Countercraft food processor. And from what I understand from my research, Sears had quite a few Countercraft appliances that they must have had in a series. Probably, I would say this is probably 70s or 80s. I haven't dived that deeply into it. But but anyway, I wanted to show you like what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to toss on this. I paid $3 for this particular unit, and these can sell for $40 to $50 plus shipping. Except this one will not, because this is broken. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Right here, there's a big crack in the plastic. So essentially, this food processor, I mean, you could probably still use it. Well, not now. You could probably still use it, but obviously it does not have the integrity that it used to have. So this is obviously going to be thrown away. And that kind of makes this food processor useless, pretty much. But I can probably get, and I've looked these up. Let's see. The lid, I can get about $15 shipped. This, about $5 plus shipping. But I may throw this together and do $19.99 shipped on this, and it'll still go first class. It came with 5 blades. So it's got these 3 like shredder slicer blades that I think I can get about $15 a piece for shipped. They were sold in all different configurations. That's the thing about parts. Somebody sold these together for $20 shipped. but other people have done different configurations, and I'm looking for the customer that only needs that one, that doesn't need all of them. So I'm going to do about $15 shipped and on these three. So that's another $45 net profit. I mean, gross profit, of course, but and really easy shipping. That's either a small box or some bubble wrap, and you can even do a poly mailer with that. And when I do a poly mailer with things like that, I typically will wrap cardboard around them. And then there are these two blades. This is your chopping blade, and this is a dough blade. And I think I can probably get about 15 bucks for these as well. So that's, now we're up to about 70 bucks on the parts for this. And my little company that I love always tests these things, or they'll tell you it's being sold as is, which usually means it doesn't work, or they were not able to test it. They didn't have the equipment to test it or whatever. This one is marked as works, so I can sell this, and this should sell for about $20 plus shipping. So, and this will be a pretty easy ship as well. I'll bubble wrap that and send it out. So, you know, that's something to look for, and especially since that was a broken one. Let's see who's here in the chat real quick. Linda with Linda's Rocky Mountain Finds is here, and also Val is here from Northeast Ohio. Excited to be here. Welcome, Val. Thank you for being here, neighbor, because here I am in Central Ohio, and I'm tired of being cold already. I just want to throw that out there. I know we've had a mild winter so far, but I don't like it. I don't like the cold weather. But anyhow, so my pal Chris, who's probably lurking around there somewhere, you know, said these Senseos are still a thing. These still sell, which I did not know. And if you don't know, this is made by Philips, and it is a pod system coffee maker. And this one I paid $3 for. And check this out. It's actually broken, I think. Maybe it's not. It just doesn't look right to me. It's got all this separation here. That may be the way they're supposed to be, but I just don't feel that comfortable with it. But that's okay, because I never intended to sell this entire unit anyway. So there are several components on this machine that you can sell without the use of a screwdriver. So one being this little pod here, which sells for $12 shipped. This is the drip tray and reservoir, and this sells for $13 shipped. Check this out. This is the spout where the coffee comes out. Well, this just lifts right out of here for cleaning. This pour spout will go for about $10 shipped, and I haven't even started to disassemble this thing. There is also this reservoir. This is the water reservoir for this, and this also sells for $12 plus shipping. I will also grab a screwdriver and take this out. This is something that normally needs to be replaced on these. And if I think this one is good, and I'm not sure it is, this has got a rubber gasket around it. This will sell for $12 shipped as well. And there are just so many other possibilities here. I tell you, I have sold the motor out of Food Saver food sealing system. And honestly, excuse me, I never looked for that to really sell. I just thought, I'm going to take the motor out of this thing and throw it up on eBay and see what happens. And it's sold, and it didn't take that long. So if I go to town with a screwdriver on this thing, who knows what parts might be available. But based on the parts that I've discussed already, we're in the neighborhood of, I believe, about 60 bucks. And all of them are super duper easy shipping. Now, some parts are going to just sell faster than others. That's the nature of the beast here. So you may end up with that one part that just won't sell. But for what it's worth, overall, you'll make money on these. Let's see, Aunt Ziff Sells is here, and she says that she's always surprised that people buy these parts. Me too, but they do, and I am glad that people are doing that. That's a thing, instead of being disposable minded like many of us are, where they'll just throw out the old one and go buy a new one or try to find a new used one. So I know I always get surprised by that too. So there's number 2 item. And of course, I always have little gadgets around that I could go over. Let's see. Val says, makes me sick how many appliances I've gotten rid of. Could have parted out. I know. And the braver you are with how deep you want to get into taking things apart, the more surprising it can be what sells. Of course, I suggest you always do your research, because the thing that you might be trying to sell may not have been a popular model at all. So, but always take a look at your items. So this is another thing that I have been really surprised by. This model not so much, but hot curlers. So I find these all the time at Goodwill and other places, and I'll buy them and I'll list them, and I just can't get rid of them. Part of that is, they're costly to ship. They're heavy. They're probably 2 to 3 pounds. They're a little bulky. I paid $1.50 for this one. I'm trying to remember if this one was on sale. If it wasn't on sale, I paid $3 for it. But recently, Chris gave me that set of hot rollers out of her storage shed, and I listed the pins for those, and they sold for like $15 shipped. And of course, this is just a flat rate, or first class, $2-3, and this shipped. And these did not take long at all. And then I listed they were flocked curlers. I listed the set of them as replacements, and those sold for like $25. And I'm like, you can buy the whole unit for that cost. But when you're asking for $15 shipping, it makes it kind of costly for folks. So, and if they've got this model and just need an extra set of rollers, why not offer that to them? So I think I can list these. Well, I know I can list these rollers, but I think I can get about $18 shipped for these. And these are very lightweight. Now, some of the ones that are filled with wax are a little heavier, but these will probably go first class. Very, very lightweight on these. And, but I did see that the 6 or the 5 of these, the pink ones, they sold for like $12 just for these. Now, these didn't sell frequently. The parts for this particular model did not sell frequently, but I encourage you, when you come across these hot rollers in the thrift stores, take a look and see what the pins are selling for, and make sure that the pins are in it. Now, these are in pretty good condition, and you want to check that too, because sometimes they will get kind of distorted. The color will get kind of distorted from the heat, from using it, and from the hair products that people inevitably spray on their hair before they put the pins in. So, but you can see these are still nice and shiny, and they look practically new. This whole set looks practically new. So yeah, just do your little search while you're in the thrift store and see, do the pins sell for $15, $16? You might be able to make money on these. And a lot of times these sets are not that expensive because they can't get rid of them either. And then look to see, you know, do the curlers sell well? You might be surprised. I was surprised. Again, I don't think this is going to be that home run, but I'll still make money on it, which is always a good thing. Always a good thing. Let's see. I'm trying to see what else I have. That, because, you know, I thought that it was going to take me a lot longer to go through those 3 things than it actually did. Amelia Sells is here. Thank you, Amelia, for being here. I enjoy your channel as well. Aunt Ziff Sells asks, which appliance parts sell the best for you? I have found that if we're talking like kitchen appliances, that food processor blades sell the best for me. They are the best bang for the buck, at usually no less than $15 each. And I've sold them for as much as $25 shipped. And when I'm talking about the large disc blades can sell pretty well, but you need to check those. I just listed a GE, a whole set of them. That's just not worth that much. But the Cuisinart ones can do pretty well. But the chopping blade, you know, the little one with the 2 arms that come out, those always seem to sell pretty well. Make sure you're dealing in decent brands. Obviously, your Hamilton Beach is not going to be as pricey as your Cuisinart and such. But I find that those are usually the home runs for me, are the food processor blades, because it's something that gets dull, I guess, over time, or you ding the blade edge and it becomes less effective, and it kind of mashes your food instead of cutting it. So I did part out that Oster Regency Kitchen Center that I showed you guys in the last video or two. And this is the blender base. And I've really parted out everything that I can. This had a turntable on it. I took that off and listed it separately. So I have sold the beaters, the dough hooks and the beaters off of this already. Maybe something else, I can't remember. But I listed this today for $34.99 plus shipping, and it sold within an hour or two of me listing it. So this one part paid for the entire kitchen center, which there were a lot of pieces, plus left me some profit. So everything that I sell from that kitchen center from here on out will just be profit. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. I'm trying to think, because again, I thought it was going to take me longer. So this is an Oster blender that I'm going to try and get the blade. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the blade out of it. But I bought this for $1.99, I think. And this will do okay. With the lid, these are better. But I will buy, as I've talked to you guys before, can she reach it? I don't know. Dang it. I will buy blender jars like this. This one was priced at 99 cents. I have no earthly clue what this goes to. I mean, obviously, we know it's a blender jar, and it has the blades in the bottom, but there's no maker on this. And I talked about this in the last video. Like, you would think that it would be a not so cheap one because it's glass, but usually manufacturers are really proud of their blender jars and like to put their names all over them. So I have to figure out. This is something else that I usually do fairly well with. blender jars, especially if they have the blades in the lid. But shipping on these can be a bit of a bear because they'll end up weighing 3 to 4 pounds because they are glass and they're large. Hey, Beverly. Beverly is in the house. Val says anything over 3 pounds, I use FedEx Smart Post. Saves a lot in postage. Some of those parts look heavy. Some of those parts are heavy. Usually, well, not usually. When it is something like this, I will 99 times out of 100 have the buyer pay for shipping on this. And I did recently add best offer to my listings and have been willing to accept less than I normally would for my listings just to move some of this stuff. Yeah. Oh, I just bought. You know how I've been on this quest not to buy big things because big things take up room, and I have moved back into my basement with my eBay stuff. So I'm trying to minimize the size. I'm going to try not to fall down. The size of the things that I have been buying lately. And oh, just FYI, don't overlook things like this. I bought this little box of communion cups. I think there was 70 in here to begin with. And I have sold 3 sets of 10 for like $18 each. Surprising. Because, you know, who would buy used communion cups? Well, a lot of people apparently. But in my quest not to buy big things and just try to stick with little things, how about this little old bread maker? And this is a Cuisinart. Paid $10 for it. And it is a convection bread maker, which I didn't know that was even a thing. But this should do about $60 to $70, and it will not be fun to ship at all. Weighs a ton, but you know, we'll bubble wrap it and pack the box sufficiently. But I hate it when I can't follow my own rules. Do you all suffer with that? You know, you make this rule for your business to simplify things for yourself, and then you find that you can't follow your own rules because, man, I break my rules constantly. You guys are really quiet tonight, which I don't blame you. It's late. It's time to wind down and relax a little. I did see the comment that said, I think Val said it was 7 degrees in northern Ohio. I'm not having any of this. I am not happy about it at all. I'm tired of being cold. It's 28 degrees here in Columbus, Ohio. And now, and Ziff wants to know how you can resist Cuisinart. Exactly. I used, of course, I had to test that fully. And I used that to make bread dough for pita bread, which turned out pretty well. And so it is fully functioning. I may have to do one more test because I didn't actually bake anything in it. So I may have to bake bread in it. But yeah. All right. I'm running out of stuff to talk about. I thought that it was going to take me 30, 40 minutes to talk about parts. Clearly, it is not. And I am just kind of played out unless you guys have something to talk about. Linda says, sometimes you just can't say no to profits. And man, that is just, I struggle. I struggle with that for real. Especially if I know it's good profit. even if it's going to be a pain to ship like that will be. Let's see. Grandma Wrinkles said it's 29 here in southern Indiana. Grandma Wrinkles, where are you? Because my family is all just north of Louisville, northeast of Louisville. And I'll be heading back that way tomorrow morning. Let's see, 49 in Denver. Are you guys going to have a snow season this year? Are you going to have any skiing at all? Val says, I shipped a giant box to Texas from Ohio for 20 bucks. Was over 14 pounds. Wow, that's not bad. Grandma Wrinkles is in the Seymour area. Nice. My parents lived in Salem for about 10 years. It's really pretty up there. A lot of Amish folks in that area too. But yeah, I hope everybody's ready for this for the season that will be coming to a close before you know it, and we'll be moving on into the new year and making new goals and looking to see how we did over the past year. Linda's saying sometimes with pain in the ass items, yes. I will package it up after I list. That way when it sells, it's already ready and I don't have to think, oh, now I have to package it. That is such good advice that I might take to heart on that Cuisinart oven once I get that listed, after I've baked something in it and get it listed, because I just don't look forward to it. And I think it's something that will sell pretty quickly, honestly. Aunt Zipsel says she is not ready for the season to be over. And I don't blame you. Yeah, Linda's full of good ideas. All right, girls. I'm going to wrap it up because I'm clearly off my game. It's the haircut. I'm telling you, it's the haircut. Will you take classes in the house? Thank you for coming. This is going to be a short show because, you know, I don't even know what I'm talking about tonight. But yeah, I got this haircut and I got bangs. And it wasn't the best idea I've ever had. I'm someone that hates hair in their face, which is why I wear it back all the time. And of course, now I have long bangs. Just wasn't a very well thought out plan, which is generally my modus operandi. All right, so I'm going to jump off here and go have some hot tea and get ready for going out of town this weekend. And I hope that all of you are well, that your sales are up. I hope this was helpful in any stretch. And I guess I will see you the next time. So that being said, just remember that the dream works when you do. So keep dreaming and keep working, and I'll see you the next time.